We have a great guest with us today with a lot of insights on business, on creating social enterprises, what's it like to be an immigrant, what's it like to be on Dragon's Den. You have a whole lot of experience. So we have Costanza. Help me with your pronunciation of your last name.
Yes, Safatle Ferrari. Ferrari is hard because have double R.
Yes. It is. So I'm so happy to have you with us. And we're going to talk a whole bunch of different things. Like, you're an entrepreneur, you're CEO of your own business, which is amazing. I've been into your shop, Newbornlander. So let's kind of get into it and talk a little bit about, let's talk about how you got to being an entrepreneur and a little bit about your journey here to live in Newfoundland and Labrador with us.
Yeah. So, well, and the question what bring me here and was my husband. He came when he was really young. He traveled to Canada to make an internship. And then he come back and say, like, I love Canada. I love Newfoundland. And he talked to me a lot of things. And I was like, if you want to go, not pressure, let's go. And I was really young, at that time you are really open to, and I would say to make a lot of change in your life, and you're a dreamer, and was like start our own adventure and together, and that bring me here. And in 2015, and I have 26 years old when I moved here, so I was really young. I come with a lot of dream. I was a commercial lawyer back home. I was working in the Bank of Chile at that time. I started my career and go to the court to fight against the bank, and then the bank hired me. So, I was really young. Everything looks pretty promising. I was really good to go to the court and fight, So, and then I arrived here and everything changed. And I feel that it bring me into the opportunity to be an entrepreneur.
Amazing. So you fought against the bank hired you, and you came here. And because I know some of your backstory, you decided, why not? I'll just pick up sewing and I'll teach myself to sew and become an entrepreneur. That's beyond gutsy. That's, just fantastic.
Yeah, and I feel that is one of the beauty. I always say that being an immigrant is a tough journey. But also it is an opportunity to reinvent yourself. I believe especially depending of the country where you come from, one of the things that take my attention in Canada is you can start with something and then you can decide to choose something else later in your life. In my country, that is not an option. You choose when you have 18 years old, and that is what you do until you will die, because you don't have the economic opportunity to go again to the university to shift your life suddenly to studying. It doesn't work like here. So I was a big shift, because in my mind, when I choose to be a lawyer, it's okay, I will die as a lawyer, and then come and pick a sewing machine, watch videos in YouTube. I'm okay, I didn't knew how to pronounce needle. I never touched a sewing machine before, and try to figure out what's a really fun piece of creativity, but also really who I am, who I am in this place now. And I feel that was a big reflection about that you can reinvent yourself, that you don't need to be an expert in the industry that you are starting your business. That is a lie. And yes, and take this opportunity to shift your life to do maybe something that you always dream. I always been fascinated by the story of entrepreneurs, and who was the person that put the name, the logo outside that store. Who was the person in that family that was able to say, we will start a business and we will put this name, and that is who I am right now. So it is fun. And I love it.
So how did you come to decide that you wanted to make babies? You wanted to make accessories for babies. You wanted to hire immigrants that are coming here, teaching them. So it's a big story around that piece. Can you share that with us a little bit?
Yeah, I believe that all entrepreneurs have a story, and that in many cases, which is my case, come from a place of frustration, which is the the sad part of the story, but also it is, I would say, the beauty of recognize or see the problem from a personal perspective, and try to solve it for others, you know. And I feel that was my big inspiration in Newbornlander. As soon as I started, and I start to sell at the farmers market and see that people love it, see the reception from our community, and see this immigrant that I didn't speak at all of English. So my English selling at the farmers market was really bad, but I didn't care. So, but people was so supportive. So I was like, how many others women like me are in this position, isolated at home? And many times we say, and we talk a lot here in Newbornlander, how this journey of being an immigrant take everything from you, like your empowerment, your professional background. You are not anymore a professional for the society. You are not able to speak. When weeks before I was in the court fighting, now here you cannot talk because I don't know the language. So all this sad piece and frustration, and I would say disappointing also, to coming to Canada and find other reality, which is not the one that you see from home when you Google and you see options available for you as an immigrant, and you see the websites and the labels of programs, and then you move here, it's like, oh, yes, we have that, but not for you. Like, oh no, we have that, but we didn't update it, the website. And you feel like, oh, what is this? So from that piece of frustration is where it comes from the idea of Newbornlander as a space not to manufacture baby accessories. That is what we do. Why we do it? It is hopefully to change the experience of the women that are arriving here, and for a better future, to support their husband, or because for safety, and how we can create a friendly, welcome space where they feel that they belong. And this will be allowed to them to think in bigger. I always tell them, you didn't come to Canada to sew. Most of them, we teach them how to sew. It was like me, like they was like, okay, I will sew now. But then I believe in that piece, you can find yourself again, kind of recover your empowerment and think, you know what? Now I want to be a lawyer. I will go to the university. Or now I want to work there. And I am totally in that. If you want to find a better job, I will help you. Like, we will prepare the interview together and you will get there. And so I believe entrepreneurs, we solve problems. And this is my solution. I don't think that we will solve the whole problem. I always talk about that. I am not a superhero. I don't believe I am. I don't believe that I will fix the problem, but I will help to alleviate it. And that is the beauty too, that it is forever work. It is a mission so high to accomplish that it's great, because I wake up every day, good or bad, we have a mission. And it's so many people that need it. So that gives me my motivation or energy, you know?
At Newbornlander, do you have like a motto, or do you have something that you embrace, like something that's said that kind of keeps you all motivated, that keeps you going?
Yeah, I would say it is the women that come here, their story, because everyone comes from different countries and different journey, and inspiring me so much to hear about the resilience that they have. And most of them are mothers too, and the fact to do something by themselves and to support their family and to find this kind of economic independency, and inspiring me so much. I believe I get more from them than what they get from me. And because it's a continuous learning process, absorbing, and learning about their culture, how works this in their home. And I feel every time that I am able to hear or even listen stories and sad stories from the news. For example, a news came up a few months ago that a woman was killed by the husband and was immigrant, and now 4 children are without their parents. And truly break me to think that the potential that we have here in Newfoundland, the stories that we have in Newfoundland that nobody knows about it, and people looking for freedom, women's looking for freedom, and we are not able to offer them safety and freedom. And all that made me think how in Newbornlander we can create something for that women. If that women could be working with me, I could be able to help her. And all that challenged me and made me feel pain, like truly hurts, but also made me think if I am doing this, it's for a big reason, sometimes too big that is scary because my ideas are big. And sometimes I'm like, how do we do that? But I would say like taking action every single day and thinking on that, like truly guide me and motivate me to, okay, we need to continue, which is crazy because on the side, it is a business that needs to be sustainable to make this happen. And find that balance between the business and the social is what struggled me more, especially in a system that, to be honest, social enterprise, people think like, oh, you are a non-for-profit. And looks like everyone have a social enterprise, but let's look and reflect where they come from a non-for-profit, which is beautiful. I feel that need to happen. But also, I would say when you are a private, you are putting a risk by your own economy, risk in the business, and paying costs for social, which I am happy to do because that is who we are. But for the system, nobody is reliable on that. If I go to the bank, or if everyone can measure my business as a business, or you grow, but it's slow. Oh, yes, you grow, but your profit is not great. Yes, because I am doing differently. I don't receive fundings from government here, like grants to do my social piece. I am doing that by myself. And that have a cost that customers pay, that I pay. And I try to involve, of course, everything that I can from the system to let them know, like, this is happening and this is having a big impact in our community. Sometimes I feel that is recognized from the bank, that is not recognized, So it's really hard to balance this in the reality when a social enterprise is a beautiful label that people reward with claps, with awards, and with news, but you don't pay the bills with love.
100%.
You don't.
I always say I have a lot of love in my house, but it doesn't pay the bills. Right. So it doesn't pay the bills. Yeah. It doesn't pay the bills. And our financial institutions are very wary on giving out loans. And, the grant system it's kind of non-existent. And especially if you're an immigrant or refugee and, we need access to capital and funding. That's a massive thing that I've heard through conversations I've had with folks. And that's, we need to start looking at how do we support our communities. And people are coming here like you with fantastic backgrounds and know us all. And if we're not supporting that, now we're actually, taking away from folks, right? We're not being helpful. We're promising a dream. On one hand, come here and we'll help and support, but where does that come from, right? And so like I see folks like you and the mentorship programs that you're doing, the reach outs you're doing, you're everywhere, by the way, and I don't think you sleep, you mustn't. But just like, it's amazing to me. And off camera, before we got on, we talked about some things we want to talk about. And one of your things you want to talk about is failure, which is... the irony of that, because I see you as being quite successful. So we'll talk about failure and then we'll dive into success. So, because I know we don't always feel that we're successful, but in the eyes of others, you're thriving and you're a role model to so many. So thank you for that. It truly, hearing your full story and getting to know you over the last number of years has truly been a pleasure. And I see you as the epitome of success, and you've led success. And I think you're rocking it, right? You truly are.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, I feel like I get in love since I fail. Like I have a really big no this year. That come after being really successful, right? Like Dragon's Den, Canada Pause. I was in 15 billboards in that city, which was crazy. And then I have a big no after this, which like I was the most important no in my life and so far as an entrepreneur. And what's beautiful, I will say, take me time to reflect on what I was doing again, come back to my why again. And from that, beautiful things happens. And I love it. I truly will call the bank to tell them, thank you. You for telling me no. Now I am stronger. From that, I reflect so much like, wow, how much I grow. I grew in this situation of trying to figure out what to do, why I came to this position right now, why am I here right now, what I did wrong, and reflect and come back to my why I am doing this. This is in my why is enough strong to continue and tolerate this pain, because I will tell you, I feel body pain. Even when you finish like with your I don't know, partner in the school, and you believe that you will get married with that person and tell you no, and you crash, and it's like, what is going on? And all that made me grow so much that from that I came in love of failure. And one of the things that I did in this moment was reach out to my mentors and tell them, tell me about your failures. I need to hear your stories. They were so generous to share with me. And I feel a little dramatic after that. Like, oh my God, that is dark. I'm good. And, but made me feel so grateful. And I grew more than all my peak of success. And I believe that success, what gives me sometimes is like expose me to being more afraid and feel more pressure by the expectation of people. And I remember I told my husband when I have this big no, I told him, you know what? I wish to click a button, make the time back, and being alone in my house, sewing with my domestic machine, with my children there. I was so safe, and I don't feel safe now. So, but then, of course, this was in a really vulnerable time. But then I was like, this journey has been so good that even if Newbornlander closed tomorrow for any reason, I'll be so proud about where we are right now. I know, like, we have so much more, and that is my desire. I have so much dreams and ideas, and they are so big that I really want to do it. But if something happened, I am grateful. I am 100% grateful. I will not change anything. And I believe this failure time make you reflect about that, about the journey, about again, what you are doing, if you will do it again, and become with more power to take action and say, no. I will find a way, and entrepreneurs find the way to do the things, right? And from that, everything comes with so much strength, clarity. In my action, I feel like I was moving a chess pieces to make things happen. And so failure for me and humanize me so much, again, because when you have this peak of success, people put you in a pedestal, one. And two, you're afraid when you are successful. You feel like, oh no, what I would need to do now. But this made me think like, I don't care what people think. I don't care. I truly don't care. My actions come from a place of pure love, intention. I might be wrong many times, yes, but I don't take action from a place of love and fear. It is coming from a place of love, and it's not for me. It is not for selling hats. It is for the stories that are there. And that was the pain for me. If I fail, I will make them fail. And I was freaked out by that. And so the failure for me is like so important to talk. And I feel other entrepreneurs is so important to them listen other people that is head in business, in time, in experience about their failure. Because if they did it, you can do it too. But nobody teach you how come out of failure when people think that you are super successful. So then I need to make that reflection. I don't care what people think. If they think that I am successful and I fail, I will. I don't care. I know I did it from a place of love, and it doesn't work, sometimes. So I will live with that.
Absolutely. I love that. And How many folks do you have working with you now in Newbornlander?
Now we are 5. And I would say that Newbornlander usually have 1-2 years turn. And I have meetings, I hope when we are busy, no, but I hope to try to be really consistent in have and checking meetings with one by one with my teams to see how they feel, where they are, even to learn about their life. We do breakfast, which we talk about everything else, but not work. And because for me, it's important to learn what is their desires, their dreams, if they feel stuck, how I can help them to go out of that, if I can help, if they want to share. This just open that space and to learn about them, and that takes time to create trust, to create and I always say, remember I make a Canadian train one day and let's say well, if somebody come and make you a gift, like one of your employees or you are the coordinator and come one of the participants with a chocolate or something, you will receive it? I was like, yes. No, I'm professional. I was like, well, yes, for Canada. But in my culture, your parents educated you to do that as a way to show appreciation, and as a way. So I try to go outside of all maintaining my behavior as an employer, but as a peer as well, and to try to create this access to trust, access to exchange information. If they want, tell me about hey, I will buy a house. Kate, let me know the day that you will move. Let me know if you will need help. We will find the help. And let me know if permanent resident, oh my God, let's go in. What I can do for you. I try to be involved in their life, not because they are my employees and delivering hats and sewing. It's as a humans, I know how important things are, especially when you don't have your family here. So I believe that really create a different approach as a employer, as a business, as a company in Canada, because our behavior is not really standards of you can, you can't. It is no, this is who we are. I always say to them, I am not Canadian, so I will be really close to you as much as I can, as much as you allow to me to be, maintaining the behavior. This is work. So, we can create an amazing relationship, but work is work in some, but I believe that if you come to Newbornlander, this is family. I hope that when you leave Newbornlander, it will be for something better. I believe that they have so much potential. I believe that they didn't come here to sell. All of them have such a powerful story. And I feel that we are not creating the space. And I hope that is what we are doing here, to create that space, to share, to empower them. I always say yes, the men will be find a job faster, Most of the time, the women will be staying at home and taking care of the children, and the children will go to the school, they will learn English. The women will be stay there stuck many times alone. If you make the life of that woman different, she will impact the children. She will impact the family. But I believe that many women, even the system, forget them. Even sometimes the not-for-profit don't work with that one that is not ready yet to work. Because one thing is connect people for work. Yeah, but what if you are not even able to be connected because you don't speak? And daycares are full. Who will work with that women? Well, I hope us. I hope that I am filling a gap, And so I don't know if I go outside of the question.
You're definitely filling the gap, I think, that's needed here in our space in Newfoundland and Labrador. And, good on you, because I'm hoping that conversations like this will motivate employers to look at their social fabric and what they're doing and how can we, help, refugees and immigrants that may not have their PR. How do we do hiring, right? How do we make opportunities for people to be able to work here and, to want to raise their families here and stay here? Because I see so often people are leaving because they don't have their PR and can't get employment. Yet they have fantastic skills, great ideas. They're educated beyond. It's just that, getting that opportunity to be able to create impact and make their imprint on us.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I really reflecting of employers in Canada and all that. I believe that we are putting the needle in the wrong place because the CEO of a company, they want good workers. They hiring human resources, people, get that people inside of the company. The human resources approach, I feel, they are the ones need to be a pressure from the CEO saying like, bring me diversity here. Okay. So open your scope to immigrants. But because that is not happening, but also human resources could be not take the risk to fail because they are getting paid for this service. They're not willing to take the risk in hiring, somebody with a different name. I always say we will not get to the interview. That is, we will not get there. They will not recruit us. They will not lose their time with us. That is what is happening. And I believe human resources, they have a big mission because they can make this and recommend and say, listen, I interview all these candidates. All of this was from this country, and I feel this have the potential and bring them, hopefully, to the opportunity of getting in that position on company and taking a little bit of risk. But I feel it's not a work that is happening there yet. It's so comfy to go with what you know because you will not fail. So you will present these candidates to the CEO. I feel that is one. And what I am trying to do is pitch to small business like Newbornlander, people that is running a business that is willing, they are in this time of creating big things to put there the layer of like, hi, and I will tell you something. I will tell you my key secret in Newbornlander and why we are growing, why we being successful, why we are starting with $360, why I have a full-time job time on the side to Newbornlander and the business grew. It's because my team. It's because these people are such a good workers. And when you give them opportunities, people that work here, I always tell them, this is your company. This is for you and the women that are coming after you. And that is the secret. We have a list of people trying to enter to Newbornlander when employers are begging for people because they don't have workforce. And it's like, it's crazy.
So your secret sauce is truly like diversity, is truly folks who want to stay here, live here from diverse backgrounds, who want to build families and, remain within Canada, within Newfoundland and Labrador, and just, have that sense of belonging. That's the way I see Newbornlander is creating. So, and it's interesting because you've shifted my thinking, by the way, because it's like, okay, they're coming to, Canada, you're giving them an opportunity to sow and you're teaching them, but it's well beyond that. It's looking at how you impact their families, their careers, and their lives, that's massive.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel we are losing a lot of potential. I feel like if you empower these women in this case, they are leaders. They are not employees. They are members. They are truly leaders. They solve problems. And they will welcome the rest. When we receive a new person, I don't need to train them. Oh, the team do everything. At the time that we are growing, I need to put some tools, of course. Yeah. But it is come from the pure this happened to me, now it's a new one, I will help her. And like that. So it's a circle thing that is beautiful to do. And by the way, this kind of model that I am trying to pitch here, and this is my challenge, this should become, it doesn't come from the non-for-profit sector? Why? And sometimes people is like, oh, well, we will give you, and I have this conversation a lot with my family, a loan, a credit, when I need to pay a social cost that is high, that you pay that in real money, basically, and you put your own risk. And I am like, if this could become from the not-for-profit, should be so beautiful and kind of more easy to access, to see it succeed, right? Because when you're a private, the system don't trust in you and give you money to create a social project because you are a private, right? But the reflection is what is not happening? If you see the kind of level of trainings that we have for immigrants, it's construction, it's agriculture. It looks like are for men, looks like our trainings that are focusing in more men's are women's. And that is something that made me reflect why you are forgetting the women that in that house, in an immigrant family, the women have a huge role and you are just leaving it. And that is what freaked me out. Like, we have superheroes in this province and they are like, nobody knows where they are. Nobody listens to them. Nobody hears their stories, and they are leaders. They are leaders of their life. They move, they achieve their life. They live everything. That is people with a lot of potential, and yeah, well, it's a huge topic, immigration, which I love.
Absolutely. And you're a strong advocate for it. We're going to leave the conversation there because we're going to get into another conversation. So if folks want to reach out to you and want to see your fantastic storefront, where are you located to and how can they reach out?
So we're at 3 Cashin Avenue. It's a beautiful blue building. If you come here, I love it. I when we create this space, I thought, knowing my clients, they thought, if you come to work here, I want that you feel good. Like, I want to arrive to Newbornlander, make my good coffee. I always have good coffee. My first job was in a Starbucks, so I am sure to have good coffee because you start your day really well. And a clean space, a space that you like with a lot of light, that will make you feel good. Also, sometimes I like to work better here than my home, which is a mess. And so it's a good place to be. And so if you're a customer, you will enter. And when I designed the space was with these 2 blue doors open, so you can see how we manufacture your hat. Because when I start to manufacture, I didn't realize all the textile industry and the issues that the industry have internally, which is environment and also the exploitation, which it is one of the ones that have higher number of human exploitation that are children are women. And I can like, wow. And so I am in a big mission there to disrupt, hopefully, that, to touch base in there. And the beauty to don't know anything about what you are building when you don't know, that you set up everything as you think that should be, without rules. And then after I realized, wow, this is really different to other textile industry. And it's like, how you do it? Because should be not work, should be not be sustainable. Well, it is. It's not profitable as other ones manufacturing in other countries and exploiting children and people, but it is sustainable if you want to do it right. And I feel that is one of another secret sauce of Newbornlander. It is that we are different because we set up everything from a pure love, place of love, like need to be beautiful, need to be like this and that, and then it doesn't look like a textile place, like I'm not a manufacturer. And I love when customers come to 3 Cashin Avenue and they are able to see it. When we are able to say, like, we don't have that hat, but if you sit 5 minutes, we will make it for you. And they was like, what? And you will do it right now? Oh, yes, we will cook it now. And that has so much value that our customer understand you pay for that. And I am really grateful about that.
Fantastic. What is an email that people can reach out to you? And you're active on LinkedIn as well?
Yeah, so it's info@newbornlander.ca. I will share that another thing as a leader and running. I hope to do this, and I will tell you why should we not change. And I am the one answering the emails. And I am the ones talking in Instagram and to answering. So most of the time through the email or Instagram, you have the feedback of customers like, hey, well, I love this, that I love to learn that they love it. So I received that message, which I love. But sometimes you have customers that are like, hey, I bought this and I am disappointed. It's like, oh, well, why? And you have feedback and you have the opportunity to fix this. And that is unexpected from them, from customers, think that they are talking with the CEO and that we will fix your problem. I don't care which, like, you want to change it, you want to refund, you want to repair, you want to like change the size. Yes, we will do it. And that's why I say I should be the ones that continues doing that, because the positive number of message I hire so much higher than the ones that are not negative, the ones that are constructive feedback to grow and improve. And so when the negative ones, the ones that are not so cool, increase, well, the company have a problem and I should be the first one to learn about that problem, fix it. If I hire someone to do that job that we can do, you will never know the good and the bad, And so our customers, like if you write to me in Instagram, if you come here, probably you will see me. I love to talk with customer and sell. I love that. And if you go sometimes to different fairs, I am there attending. Some friends told me like, Connie, you need to still go and sell. I was like, I want to. But I love to talk with customer. I love selling. I love when they try to the kit and they're like, oh, I am part of that. Like, oh my God, this is working. I love it. So that is, I feel I have the freedom and the time to do it. I am the queen of delegation and I delegate that kind of things, but I love to be part of that too. And remind me also my earliest stage in how I started Newbornlander. And it's so beautiful being able to don't forget that, to still touch base on the floor with people. So
I love that. Thank you so much for joining us today. And it's been a pleasure to have you on.
Oh, thank you so much for this invitation. The time just fly. How? It was so much fun.
Thanks so much.